What up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Throwback Thursday. This week, we're on episode 8, season 3 of The Walking Dead, Made to Suffer. Let me start out by saying that this is the best episode so far in this season. Non-stop action all the way through. I highly enjoy this. But anyway, let's start out with the opening segment, or the opening teaser. It starts out with a walker walking. Well, first you hear a scream in the woods, and then you see a walker walking down. And this walker, for some reason, remind me of the Ted Danson zombie when in Creepshow. If you remember in Creepshow, the segment he did, he was in. Well, I forgot the title of the segment, but it was him and Leslie Nielsen, and he was buried alive over his head in the beach, and then he comes back as a zombie. And this one kind of reminded me of that, or of the girl that was the zombie in that episode. So I just thought I'd mention that. Anyway, the zombie's walking in the woods, and all of a sudden we're introduced to a bunch of new survivors. And we see Tyrese and Sasha, brother and sister, accompanied with a trio of a married couple and their son, which, I don't know, the son looked a few years younger than the mother. So I don't know, you know. I don't know. That was just a little bit odd. They fight off the walkers, and the female mother gets bit by one of the zombies, and they manage to save her, in a sense, for temporarily, and they rush and they find sanctuary in a building that's been destroyed. And Sasha's like, no, she's not coming with us. She can't because she was bit. You know, she's gonna turn. And they said, come on, please. Well, and then, you know, Tyrese is like, let's go. Well, you know, like, let's go inside. We'll figure it out when we get inside. You know, it's safer, and probably safer in there than it is out here, which is not. So they go in, and all of a sudden we see that this destroyed section of a building that they're walking into is the prison, the other side of the prison. And then we start off the show. We go to Woodbury, and we see the governor's trying to get something out of his zombified walker daughter. I don't know what this whole thing is about. I don't know if they ever really explained why he kept his daughter, or why he kept the heads in that room. What the hell was that all about? I don't know. Was it just for him to be evil and look evil? I don't know. They never, to my recollection, I can't remember them getting into it. Hopefully they do, and I'm go, oh, okay. I just forgot. But no, I don't think they do. So I'm pretty sure he's just trying to find a cure for his daughter. That's why he has Milton doing all those stupid things, thinking like there could be a cure, but there is no cure. Before that, we saw Andrea. She said that she was going to bury the old fuck that from the last episode that nobody cares about. We go to Maggie and Glenn, who are still trapped inside the little compound in the hidden in the little compound in the in Woodbury. And Glenn's about to ask her, like, did he touch you? And she goes, no, he didn't touch me. He did nothing. And then they talk a little bit, and then Glenn decides to go to that walker hand because they're going to get out. And that's why Glenn is the best. And he breaks the walker hand that was left there, and he pulls out the bones, and he gives a piece to Maggie, and he holds one, and he's ready for, like, when they come in, they're going to kill whoever's going to come in to next time they see them, so they could get out and tell the others that these people are coming and they're trouble. And then we see outside that Rick and them are still outside monitoring the guards and trying to find a way in. Michonne wanders off. Then they're like, okay, this is what we got to do. We got to do this. We got to break in this way. We're going to have to do this. Then Michonne comes back and shows them a different way to get into Woodbury without notifying any of the guards. Inside, Merle and the governor are talking, and the governor's like, listen, this is where we're going to go. We're going to go through there. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. This is how we're going to get rid of them. And Merle's like, are we going to take over the prison? And he goes, no. Why? Like, are we going to move everybody to the prison? And the governor's like, what are you talking about? Like, everyone's safe here. They like it here because it feels like they're at home. Like, this is like their life used to be. What the hell? You think we're going to go to a prison and put them in cells? Because that's never going to work. Well, we'll see what happens next season. But so then he tells Merle what Merle has to do, and Merle's like, but my brother's there. And he's like, well, he could be our man on the inside. I don't know. Daryl's pretty close with this group now. They're family. Michonne gets Rick and them inside to Woodbury, and they're in a building now, and they're looking outside to see, you know, the patrol. And they're also, you know, monitoring the patrol because they got into where Michonne was brought in with Andrea originally in the earlier episodes. When they first got brought in, they were in a little hospital area. And they're like, I thought you said there are people were going to be. He goes, well, this is where they brought me. I don't know where they're going to be. A guy walks in, and they grab him and they tie him up and they ask where are the people, but this guy doesn't know anything. He's just, locks the doors and things for curfew. He has no idea what else is going on outside or what the governor does outside there. So they tie him up, gag him, and beat the crap out of him. Then we go back to the prison where one of the prisoners, I forgot his name, is kind of like flirting with Beth. And then he asks, how old are you? And she's like 17. And then Carol's like, hey, you come over here. And then she's like, listen, you better leave that girl alone. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to do anything. It's just been a long time. And, Glenn's got Maggie. You're a lesbian. And she goes, I'm not a lesbian. And he goes, you're not? And then she goes, no. And he goes, well, isn't that interesting? And she's like, no, it's not. And she walks away. Merle and one of the other guys we've never seen before, just, red shirt. That's what we should call them. Whenever we don't know anybody that just get killed for no reason, they're just a red shirt from like Star Trek. They go in to move Glenn and Maggie, and Glenn and Maggie attack him, kill that guy, the red shirt guy, and then he's ready to move them again. And Glenn and Maggie think they're going to die, which they technically would go into because they were moving them to where they keep the walkers that they have. So, but even though those walkers, technically, we were told, don't have teeth, so I don't know how they were going to... I don't know. I just think they were just moving them so Andrea wouldn't find them for some reason, even though I don't think she's allowed in this area. Whatever. So they're about to move them. They put bags over their heads, but during the fight... one of the guys, when Maggie killed him, he had a Uzi and he shot, and the gunshots went everywhere. So all of a sudden, like now, Woodbury's on alert, but this also alerted Rick and Daryl and Michonne where they are. Michonne wanders off, doesn't go with them. So Oscar, Rick, and Daryl decide to go to where they hear the gunshots, and then they see that they're about to move Glenn and Maggie, and they throw fucking flashbangs, and they rescue Glenn and Maggie. Then they Andrea and the governor are like, the governor's trying to not let Andrea wander off because Andrea wants to defend Woodbury, and she's like, I could defend, I'm good, and the governor's like, no, because he does not want Andrea to find out that he fucking kidnapped, or that that's her people, that her people are coming to rescue fucking Glenn and Maggie, so he doesn't want her to know anything. They find shelter in another abandoned building, or a building that's closed because of curfew, and that's when Glenn and Maggie tell Daryl, this was Merle. Merle took us. And he's like shocked that Merle's alive, but at the same time, he's like, well, I got to go find him. I got to go talk to him or whatever. Maybe I could get him, to what. And Rick's like, listen, I need you. We can't do this now. You could come back or we could find him later or whatever, but we can't do this now, And I don't know if Glenn told him that he knows you're alive or that you're with us still. I don't remember if he said that, but, Daryl it is his brother. But at the same time, Rick is like his new brother or family. So, Rick is like, I need you. Are you going to come with me? And Daryl's like, yeah, I'm going to go with you. Again, Andrea and the governor are still bullshitting. And he's like, listen, just stay here, please. Michonne walks into the governor's apartment. She goes to his office and she sits down and she's waiting for him to come in because she's going to kill him because she knows he let her go, but he sent Merle and them to go kill her, so she wants fucking payback. Daryl and the crew go outside and they're fighting the fucking Woodbury. They're shooting, they throw smoke bangs, they're shooting any of the guards, only the people that have weapons. Obviously, our people are not murderers, like the governor is. So they're not shooting any bystanders or people running away. They're shooting only the guards that are shooting at them. And this is a cool shootout scene. I would have liked it if Andrea, because Andrea does see somebody, but she sees Oscar. She doesn't see Rick or anybody, so she doesn't know anything yet. So she sees Oscar. She takes out her gun. She fires, but she doesn't hit him. I think she should have killed him. It would have been more interesting for her if she did kill him and then later found out that one of the guys she killed was part of Rick's crew and is like a new member or something, But no, they didn't do that. And then, so they make it further into, they basically wiped out the entire wall. So now they're just trying to get out. And on their way out through the smoke, Rick looks and he sees what he thinks is Shane walking down and takes a shotgun and shoots. And that shoots fucking Oscar, killing Oscar as Oscar was helping Glenn get up. Oscar dies. And then Rick pulls out his gun and shoots fucking shoots Shane, which isn't Shane, it's just some other Woodbury resident. So inside the prison, Carl, Beth, and Herschel hear screaming inside the prison. And they go, wait a second, that was inside. Was it Carol? No, Carol's outside on the tower, monitoring the gate. Well, I got to go see what that is. And Herschel's like, no, you can't. I can't let you go. And he's like, my father would go and check it out. And then Herschel's like, yeah. So they're giving this kid a lot of responsibility. Mind you, okay. Carl goes down into the tombs, and he's looking with a flashlight and his gun and his hat. And then I just remembered, when I watched this scene, it parallels directly with the ending of when Rick supposedly died. That last episode we saw Rick till what's coming up soon, is that after the helicopter flew away, we see a group of people trying to survive, hitting off walkers, and all of a sudden, Judith pops up, and she's like, she kills them, and she's wearing the hat and the gun, and she goes, come with me, I'm Judith. It was the exact same scene what happened here. Carl goes, he finds them, the group, or Tyrese's group, Tyrese and Sasha's group, being, fighting off walkers. I believe this was in the boiler room, and he fucking shoots them, and he goes, come on, let's go, come on. And there's just like, who the hell are you? It's the same exact thing. But he doesn't say, I'm Carl Grimes. So that was interesting. Michonne hears noise inside the governor's room, and then she kicks down his office door and sees the heads in the tanks. And she's like, oh my God, this guy's actually fucking insane. Then she hears the noise coming again from another room. She opens it and she thinks he's keeping this little girl tied up like he's a sick perv. She goes and takes off the mask and discovers that she's a walker. She's about to go kill her when the governor comes in and points a gun and says, leave her alone. And the governor surrenders everything just to leave her alone. But Michonne is pissed. You fucking tried to kill her. She kills the walker because she doesn't give a fuck what the fuck you're trying to do with your daughter. She realizes finally this is Penny. This is his daughter. So she kills her. The governor goes crazy. They start fighting. Michonne gets up her hand at one point, and then the governor starts beating the shit out of her. And I'm like, oh God, realism again. We're finally like, this is back in 2000. I forgot what year this was, 2012. Oh, but it's realistic. Like there's a real fight between a guy and a girl. What would really happen? And she bites his hand. He starts screaming, and then he grabs her and smashes her head through the fish tanks. And the walkers are trying to bite her face while he has her holding there. She gets out of it. They start fighting, and then he's choking her, about to kill her. She reaches for her fucking katana, but it's too far away. She grabs a piece of broken glass from the fish tank and fucking jabs him in the eye, taking out his eye. And then all of a sudden, she's about to kill him, and Andrea shows up. And Andrea's like, no. And then Andrea sees him, and she's like, why the fuck are you here? Why are you here? And then she lets Michonne go. And the governor just holds his daughter crying, and Andrew's just looking around like, what the fuck is this? And then sees that his daughter's there, there's a walker, Penny, and that the governor has his glass in his eyes, he's just crying. And I just thought of Tony Soprano when he tells the councilman,
go ahead, cry like a bitch.
That's what I wanted to tell the governor. We go back to the prison, and Carl gets the group, Tyrese's group, back to the cell where they are, and they're like, he's like, we gotta kill her. And then Tyrese's like, no, we take care of our own. Interesting enough. So he's about to kill her when all of a sudden Carl closes the door, and then they're like, hey, you can't just leave us out here. You can't leave us in here, chain us up like animals. And then Tyrese's like, leave them. Like, look, we're inside. We're safe. They gave us food and water. Just leave them, let them be. Like, they don't know us. Like, let's let it go. The governor is sick and pissed and more angry than ever now. And when he hears that Merle comes in, and he's like, what happened to you? And he's like, they came in or whatever. He just looks at him like, this is your fault. You told me that you killed her, right? I believe Merle told him that he killed Michonne. So he's real pissed. So that's why I'm pretty sure he told him he killed Michonne. So Michonne coming back and doing this is definitely like, oh no. Michonne meets up with Rick and them outside again, and they don't trust her. And she's like, listen, you need me. Like, she doesn't say what I went to go do, but he's like, listen, you need me. I can get you to the prison. Like, I can help you. So Rick's like, okay, fine. The governor goes outside, and he gives a big speech, and that's when he says that terrorists came and they wanted to take what's ours, and he's rallying up, the citizens of Woodbury, the patriots, and he's telling them they wanted to take what's ours, and one of the terrorists is one of our own, and he goes, it's Merle, because Merle fucked up, and Merle's like, what the fuck, and he goes, it was him and his brother, and Daryl stood behind. So Daryl was helping them get out. He was shooting everybody, doing all this stuff during the gunfight, and they caught him. That's why I was wondering, where the fuck is Daryl? They were waiting for Daryl outside, and we find out that Daryl and Merle are both now fucked. And Andrea is like, she can't believe that Daryl is there, and she's like, what is going on? She's so confused. And Daryl's just like, oh no. So, and everyone's like, kill them both. So this is just great. This is great. This was a great episode. I didn't look up who wrote this. I just wanted to, do this review after watching it, and this is fantastic. And I hope I don't know how they're gonna, I don't know. I feel like the new show is not gonna be nearly as good, but who knows? I haven't watched any of the spin-off shows. I stopped watching after season 6, so who knows? Anyway, I love this episode. This was really, really good, really, really fun. A great episode, fantastic. Anyway, if you like this video, remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, leave a comment down below, tell me what you thought about this episode, and if you like this season which is your favorite season of The Walking Dead? Is season 3 your favorite? Because I kind of actually I even want to go back right now again after watching this great, fantastic episode, go back and watch seasons 1 and 2 and this and all the way up to this again. But then there are episodes that are just so fucking boring. But anyway, I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.